Circuit record here belongs to Danny Pedrosa in this class, a 1 minute 57.59. Quickest lap so far, a 58.3 from Batista. Let's check them this time around for you. 58.6 for Batista. Lorenzo faster this time, a 58.2.
Don't forget, this is a huge effort from Batista as well. It's his first season in the 250 category. He didn't win the race here last year in the 125, but he was battling up front. So this young rider from Spain coming on strong. Is he going to take it to Lorenzo? Be a lot of rivalry there. Former world champion from last year, Lorenzo, is Spanish also. Both those riders split right now with Dovizioso from Italy.
Replay of the pass on Alex De Angelis. Back with our race leader, Alvaro Batista. Dovizioso looks pretty tidy at the moment and was a tenth faster the last time around. But as you can see, the world champion is the fastest man so far. De Angelis using him like he's chasing the carrot dangling at the end of the string. It's the incentive. And now just shows him a wheel and reminds him that he's still in the game here, hasn't dropped off.
It's a critical year for Lorenzo because he's the current world champion in the 250 category, and this year he didn't make the step, or didn't have the opportunity maybe to make the step like Pedrosa up to MotoGP. He's decided to stay in this category, Simoncelli. And the only downfall to that is if he doesn't come back to back and win the world title, he'll lose the front end here. Yeah, still a little too fast into the turn, a little too much front brake. But if Lorenzo doesn't win the world championship this year, and say a new young gun like Bautista, who's new in the championship, 125 world champion from last year, beats him this season, he's the one that everyone in MotoGP is going to look at and want to sign up to come straight and make that step straight up to MotoGP like Pedrosa has. And Lorenzo can quite easily find himself in a situation where he's overlooked and spends the rest of his career in the 250 class. So really important year for him now to try and back up that world title again.
Just to expand on that topic, you'd have to say on that basis, and a lot of pressure on Alex De Angelis as well. He rides for the same team that Alvaro Bautista, the chosen one, is with. And Alex has been around the 250s for more than a little while now. Bautista doing a great job in his debut season.
Exactly, and I think when you're at a stage like De Angelis, unless a moto team really takes the punt and gives you the opportunity, he's pretty much stuck in this category. But, you know, guys like that throw out big surprises sometimes too if they make that step and really seem to suit or go better on a bigger bike for some reason. But the one to watch is Bautista.
So it'll be interesting to see how De Angelis reacts to that pressure. Incidentally, as far as Marco Simoncelli is concerned, he was in 8th position until that fall. Now back in 14th place aboard the Metzes Gilera. Barbera now up into 8th place. But he's some 8 seconds behind Julian Simon in 7th. Dovizioso looks clean and tidy through the fast turn 11 as he chases our race leader, Alvaro Bautista. Thomas Luthi has dropped off a little in relation to Alex De Angelis and Jorge Lorenzo here. They're gearing up for a break as we approach the halfway mark here of the 250s at Istanbul. Stick around, we will take you right through to the finish on the other side of this. As we welcome you back to our coverage of the 250 Grand Prix of Turkey, you can see that Andrea Dovizioso is really starting to apply the blowtorch now to Alvaro Bautista, our race leader. So things looking pretty interesting at the front. And Jorge Lorenzo has just laid down the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 58.155. There's Mika Kallio, the orange KTM, bike 36. Julian Simon is behind him, the Spanish rider with the Repsol Honda 250cc team. And for those of you that have been wanting to know about Australia's Anthony West, we can tell you that he crashed out in the early part of the race, but we understand he's okay. At the front, change of position. Andrea Dovizioso wrestles the lead from Alvaro Bautista.
Just didn't get the best of drives onto the straight then, but we'll see a bit of a Honda v Aprilia speed over this lap while they're close together.
Lorenzo of 58.2 last time around, De Angelis of 58.3. Slow motion replay as Dovizioso up the inside. As Darryl mentioned in our more recent coverage of the 250s at Jerez in Spain, this outfit is now called Scott Racing once again, and it's a team fundamentally, Darryl, that Andrea Dovizioso has basically been with through the 125s and the 250s.
It's been a family pretty much to all those guys there, and he's would desperately love to try and get back at Lorenzo for last season's form, and it'd be great for Scott Racing as a team. Dovizioso is the strongest he's looked so far this season.
Pretty impressive. I know we talked about it in our MotoGP coverage, but when you consider that the bulk of the energy is being focused on Nicky Hayden and Danny Pedrosa at the moment, the MotoGP team are testing at this venue tomorrow, and you know, the process is pretty much at the factory, and you know, every ounce of spare time is going to sorting the RC212V. So yeah, for this outfit, you know, a Honda outfit to be back on the pace when you consider that there's almost little or no development time going into it, or so it would seem, that's great.
It's fantastic, and you're exactly right. The resources at the moment at R&D in Japan would be purely focused on the 4-stroke project, the 800 project, and I'm sure there's still some 250, you know, there'll be people there working away at the 250 program, but definitely budget-wise and attention-wise, it's getting nowhere near what the other projects are. So for Dovizioso, it's been hard. Last year he was clearly outpaced in a straight line many times by the Aprilia. Aprilia's main focus when you compare it to Honda is this category and the 125. So two different companies and two completely
different strategies,
sizes in companies as well. You know, Honda's huge compared to Aprilia, but the bike has its advantages, the Honda chassis and the way it puts the power down off the turns, like we've mentioned before. It's a reed valve style engine. He just gets on a little early there. He lost a bit of momentum, so this could hurt him down the straightaway. But hopefully they give him the bike and he can really take the battle up to the Aprilias this year for Dovizioso.
There are 4 Aprilias behind him: Bautista, Lorenzo, De Angelis, and Thomas Luthi. Mika Kallio aboard the KTM, position 6, as Alvaro Bautista wrestles the lead from Andrea Dovizioso. They are wheel to wheel. Dovizioso comes back. Good stuff. So the Italian really wants this race win. This could be good for Jorge Lorenzo.
You watch him out of here. Bautista knows that he's got the speed. Look at the difference.
Wide. Dovizioso was wide.
Dovizioso actually had to get out of the throttle a bit there. He got down through that turn too quick. That's the corner. That's pretty much your last opportunity to pass here, is out of the fast 11 under brakes and there. Pretty much through here it's all one line, and sometimes you may get the drag to the start-finish line, but the start-finish line they've already gone across just there. So, and you can see the difference in the bikes. No one's really got that much more speed over someone to get them. So you've got to get that run through the fast turn and under brakes, and that's where Bautista's a little stronger than Dovizioso right now. And while this battle's happening, the red bike's lurking.
Well, he has turned up the heat. Jorge Lorenzo, as you can see by that red marker, fastest lap of the race so far. And right now running with this leading duo. So he makes a play now, Jorge Lorenzo. De Angelis has dropped off the pace, as you can see. And so has Thomas Luthi. That started happening for the Swiss rider a few laps ago. The Aprilia has the pace, no doubt about it. Dovizioso squeezing, wringing every ounce of horsepower from this Honda. And he's ridden very well. Let's hope he can convert for a race win. But it's an enormous ask here. And up against two very, very talented riders. We know Dovizioso is good, though. But the world champ, as Darrell mentioned, is lurking. All but a bit of rivalry, too, between Bautista and Lorenzo. You rode with him as Jorge Lorenzo took the race lead. Bautista has to get it right. A touch between Dovizioso and Lorenzo.
Dovizioso was in a hurry to try and round up Bautista and collected Lorenzo on the change of direction. The battle's on, 8 laps to go. Look at the young 125 world champion now slotting in front of Dovizioso.
This 250 race has come alive as we count down to the race finish. Dovizioso sneaks up the inside of Bautista. You rode with Jorge Lorenzo through that incredible turn 11, pinned. The bike was pinned in 6th gear.
It was fantastic to hear a 250 down through turn 11. Like Greg just said, look, change of direction. Casey Stoner come together with Alias there in free practice 2 in MotoGP as well. Watch this young guy at the back of this group. Remember, this is his first year in the 250 category. He's starting to find form. He's little, he's light. If he can hang on to this group, he'll be fast in that last sector. Is Lorenzo going to split them apart now? Has he got the speed?
De Angelis was a lot faster the last time around too. He's starting to close again. Aprilia fires out of the turn nicely for Jorge Lorenzo. Dovizioso goes deep. That's turn 11 once again.
You can hear the engine note on a 250 when we're on the onboard there. 6th gear flat through the right-hander. Engine revs build as it leans onto the side of the tyre. RPM gets higher, and then as they come off the turn and lift it up off the edge of the tyre, you just hear them drop just a little bit as they got to pull up over the rise, and then it's still flat all the way down that straight to the turn 12.
Lorenzo a 57.87 now. That plays a 57.5 is the circuit lap record here. Set in